Okay, we're here in Williamstown, Massachusetts this time, and we're here to climb the highest peak in Massachusetts, Mount Greylock. It's the middle of September 2023. Right now it's a brisk about 50 degrees and we are the only ones here so far in the parking lot, and we're here at the Hopper Road Trailhead in Haley's Farm. We're gonna make this hike into like a loop or a lollipop loop, and we're gonna hit two peaks today. We're gonna first go up and hit Stony Ledge. That's gonna be the first peak, and then we're gonna continue our way up to Mount Greylock. Now this peak you can actually drive up to. There's a road that goes all the way to the top, but that's the chumps way of going. So today we're actually going to hike it. I believe there's a couple of trails that we have to take to get to the top. We'll kind of know that. And again, we're going outside the regular route to hit the Stony Ledge first. So I was going to say that's the less popular way. We probably won't see anyone. But seeing what the parking lot is completely empty, I don't think we're going to see anyone at all anyway. So that's not going to be an issue at all. We are expecting some rain today, this morning. It's about 7 a.m. right now, and the rain's supposed to show up by 11, and then for the rest of the day and all night and all day tomorrow. So we're trying to race against the rain, but we are prepared to get caught in the rain at some point, but hopefully more or less on the way down. So again, here we are at Haley's Farm in Massachusetts, in Williamstown, and off to Mount Greylock we go. To the first sign, which is very quickly right off the trailhead, where we're going to break off to go to Stony Ledge right here. If you continued to go straight ahead, that's the main trail that would head directly up to Mount Greylock. But as I mentioned earlier, we're going to hit Stony Ledge, which is actually a legitimate peak first, and it says 2 miles away, on our way up to Mount Greylock. We're about a mile and a half up the trail, and we came across this bench with this beautiful lookout. If you guys can see that. There you go. Wow. as beautiful as it is, of the farmland down below and everything, but you can also see those clouds moving in. So we're hustling up. We are very close to the first peak up at Stony Ledge. And I have to say, it is a lot steeper than I thought it was going to be. I mean, it is just, I just figured it out that because we just did about almost 1,200 feet of gain and about a mile and a half, so it's just short of an average of a 1,000 feet a mile, which I was not expecting out of a Massachusetts, peak. But this is not the normal route that people usually take. Again, we left the main trail and we're on this much smaller trail up the Stony Ledge, and there's not a lot of information that I read about it. So, with that kind of elevation in such a short amount of time caught me by surprise. But all beautiful, all the same, and we're pretty close to, again, Stony Ledge, peak number 1. We made it here to the summit of Stony Ledge. As you see here, this big slab of rock, hence the name Stony Ledge. With the background, these beautiful clouds moving down the mountain right here. It's beautiful to look at, but I'm just a little worried that once we get up to Mount Greylock, that's going to ruin our view quite a bit. It is pretty windy up here. We are at 2,569 feet. Just wanted to make that aware that we're not breaking any elevation records today, being that it is in Massachusetts here. But look at the way those clouds are just coming down. It's pretty amazing. So we got this road that we have to follow now, which is going to reconnect to the main trail that goes out up to Mount Greylock. But really happy that we took this first route up to this summit here, because it was challenging and in an area that a lot of people just don't get to see because they just want to go up the main trail, get it done, and get out of here. But going this way, you kind of get that wilderness feel, and a great hike, steep but great hike up to this point just to reconnect onto the main trail. But look at that. are officially on the Appalachian Trail, which is super cool. I had no idea that we were going to cross into this particular trail, obviously the famous Appalachian Trail, which is going to lead us up to the summit. We're only about a half mile or so from the summit, so it's starting to get steep here, but as you saw up to this point, it was pretty casual. It wasn't too bad at all, just very woodsy, beautiful, green. And we crossed over a couple of the roads and hiked down one of the roads off of Stony Ledge. So yeah, we're kind of on trail, off trail kind of thing, but this last bit here is just the trail heading up to the summit of Mount Greylock, and we're in and out of the clouds as well, but it hasn't rained yet, so that's good news. And we haven't seen anyone. We have not seen a humanoid yet, which is wonderful, because a lot of these campgrounds and stuff are closed now for the season, and that might have explained why the parking lot was was empty and like nobody's up here. We've heard a couple of cars going up the road where people will be driving up to the summit, but no one on the trails. And that's great. Made it to the top of Mount Greylock, and here's the Veterans Memorial Tower right on the summit. So we haven't gone up there yet, but we're going to make our way up there right after this. But look at this. How cool is this? This is a large scale of the trail system that's out here, and there's a lot of trails. And here is the top of Mount Greylock, and here's Stony Ledge that we just came from. So you can see the way we actually got up here. As you can tell, it's pretty windy, and the tower just keeps on disappearing and reappearing as we're basically in the clouds. And I'm pretty much guessing that we're not going to have much of a view once we get up there of anything else. But that's okay, because we're here for the summit and we're here for the tower, and we can see that now. So we're gonna head up there now and check it out. how cool is that? This is the Bascom Lodge here on the top of Mount Greylock, and right over here is the tower we're just in above. And as you saw, we got to get a cup of coffee. They actually serve breakfast, but only until 10:30, and it was 10:25 when I was about to put the order in. But we're not those kind of people that put orders in for food 5 minutes before the kitchen closed. So we scrapped that. We had some snacks already in our backpack. But the main thing was the cup of coffee. That was the precious one. So a nice cup of coffee, nice hot cup of coffee, and some warmth to get out of all this. As you see, it's blowing back in as we're basically in the clouds. Everywhere it's just foggy, and the fog is just blowing every which way. So anyhow, we're on our way back down the trail where we came up, and we may take another side trail. It's called the Overview Trail, which adds an extra half mile. But since we're up here and we're going down, we might take that one down instead and reconnect back onto the Hopper Trail. So, but what a beautiful hike! And by the way, the mileage may get a little messed up because I never shut off my GPS as we're walking around, even go up in the tower and all that stuff like that. So I have just over 6 miles, but it was probably more like 5 miles. I didn't even look at it when we reached the summit, but maybe I might be able to get a better idea on the way down, even though we're not going exactly the way down, because we're not going back down the same way as we came up. We're not going back up and over the Stony ledge. We're going straight down the main trail back to the parking lot. So that's going to definitely be shorter. So overall, it was supposed to be like 10 miles round trip, but it's probably going to be more like around 11-ish or so by the time, we're walking around and sightseeing on the top of this peak, which is really unusual because I'm not used to sightseeing on top of a peak. You usually get to a summit and you look around the summit and stuff, but they don't have all these amenities and things, all this history to see. So pretty awesome stuff, and I'm really happy we did it. And if you're ever in the Massachusetts area, I highly suggest definitely hike it. I mean, if you want to drive it, and you can drive it, is the road right here, but I would say definitely hike it. It's definitely worth it. All right, we're back here in the parking lot. Made it down, and can you hear that? It just started raining. It's just very light rain. It just happened as soon as we came back through that gate. It just started to come down. So we just beat the rain. Can't believe it. All morning long, I said it was gonna be raining starting at 11 a.m. for like 30 to 40%. And then by 1 p.m. it was supposed to be over 80%. And now it's about 120 and it just started. So talk about perfect timing, and we're out of here. So great hike. We got 11.6 miles and 3,071 feet of elevation gain. So pretty good hike. Bigger than I thought it was going to be for a Massachusetts peak. It's not high in elevation for the peak itself, but the loop that we did, it was actually like a figure 8. So it was actually like a double lollipop, as they call it. So it worked out perfect. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.